Drew Allen Miller teaches audiences his three-step process for generating breakthrough ideas, and he does it using a blend of humor, stories, and take-home content.
Have you ever heard of a company called Clear Channel Communications? 10 years ago, they were a tiny Texas firm. They had just 12 radio stations. Today, they're the world's largest out-of-home media company with more than 2,000 radio stations and over 600,000 billboards. Randall May is their CFO. He sums it up really well. He says, you know, when it comes to ideas, we have one simple rule. The best idea wins. We don't care who it comes from, period. Richard Branson, head of Virgin Airways, and more than 200 other companies using that name Virgin. He so believes in what I'm saying that he gives every one of his employees his personal phone number so they can call him as soon as they get an idea. And if he likes the idea, that he will give them the option of joining the team that develops that idea.
We all get ideas all the time. But are you getting the ideas you want when you want them? Are you getting the ideas you need when you need them? In other words, are you getting powerful, profitable, breakthrough ideas on demand, on purpose, on a consistent basis?
This is what your successful companies are doing today. They're listening to their employees' ideas. Why? Because when employees ideate, organizations innovate.
American Airlines is one of those companies. They have a program which elicits ideas from their employees. Last year, over 45,000 ideas came in from employees. Now, some of these ideas were grand. I mean, repainting the plane, redecorating the ticketing area, more efficient ways to load the belly of the plane, but the vast majority of the ideas submitted by employees were small, simple, seemingly insignificant ideas. One such idea was recently submitted by a flight attendant. It had to do with those little plastic lids, you know, they put on the chrome coffee pot that's on the cart they push up and down the aisle. Well, it seems she noticed that she never used more than 5 of those plastic lids on any given flight. But standard operating procedure dictated that she be given 10. Her idea was simple. Supply each flight with just 5 of those plastic lids. Now, undaunted by the smallness of this idea, she filled out one of the forms. And she even stapled one of those plastic lids onto the form. She sent it off to company headquarters in Dallas. Officials were blown away when they crunched the numbers. Now, each one of those little plastic lids cost only $0.50 cents. So the savings of 5 lids is what? 7.5 cents per flight. Times 2,300 flights per day. Times 365 days per year. Ladies and gentlemen, annual savings from that $0.50 cents lid over $62,000. This is how companies are innovating today. They're listening to their employees' ideas. You see, I'm not talking about the kind of innovations that end up in new technology, new products. I mean, that's great. That's the stuff that gets all the big press. I'm really talking about the essence of innovation, the everyday innovation, the kinds of innovations that solve the problems, that resolve the issues that you face every day on the job.
Dana Corporation celebrating their 100th anniversary. Very innovative, very creative. They still average 4 ideas per employee per month. And they have a 75% implementation rate.
Did you know that 48% of the companies cited in the book In Search of Excellence are no longer in business? Why? Their people failed to generate the ideas necessary to stay competitive.
It doesn't matter if others say it's a dumb idea. It doesn't matter if others say it's been tried before. It doesn't matter if others say it'll never work. None of that stuff matters. How many of you know people who are always poo-pooing other people's ideas? Let me see your hands. Yeah, if your hand's not up, you're the one. Ideas can never be destroyed by those needle-nosed naysayers. Your ideas were born in that higher part of yourself. And only there can they die.
Now, by now, I'm sure you've heard the phrase, great marketing sells more products. You hear that? No. Great marketing does not sell more products, nor does it sell less products. That's because marketing doesn't sell. Salespeople sell. Marketing's sole purpose is to remove the barriers that keep people from buying. Your construction industry has changed since you woke up this morning. Maybe there's a competitor out there that's developing some technology that can slash their prices by 20%. Maybe an old nemesis has been whining and dining, one of your key people. Maybe one of them new startups has your company lined up clearly in their sight. It's happening all the time. I like the way Gary Hamel puts it. He's a business strategist. He said, you know, nowadays you got to look at it like this. Somewhere out there is a bullet with your company's name on it. Somewhere out there is a competitor who wants to render your business model obsolete. Now, you can't dodge the bullet. You're going to have to shoot first. You're going to have to out-innovate the innovators.
What most companies did was what they always did. You know, their typical tactics, slash and burn, chopping huge chunks out of the budget, laying off people, trying to stay low until the economic storm blows over. The tally's been taken. And those companies that we thought would be solvent enough to take the lead are not out there. Clearly, those companies that have taken the lead today are those companies that have embraced innovation.
Every innovation starts with a powerful idea. Think about it. Every increase in your bottom line came from an idea. Every revenue stream you have started with an idea. Every innovative program or product or service that you offer is the result of choosing the right idea. Doesn't it make sense? The more ideas you have to choose from, the better the innovations you end up with.
Now, the first thing I want to do here is demystify this thing we call an idea. What is an idea? Is it something magical or mystical? Metaphysical? No. An idea is simply a unique thought. It's a thought not thought before. You see, an idea is a byproduct of the thinking process. It's just that ideas come at a higher level of thought. Now get this. Psychologists tell us that we each get 60,000 thoughts a day. Well, women get 60,000 thoughts a day. Men only get one thought a day. But they get that thought 60,000 times. No. Here we are, we're getting 60,000 thoughts a day. And these same psychologists say that some of those thoughts are ideas. How many are ideas? University research now says about 5%, or about 3,000 ideas every day. It is now believed that 1% of those 3,000 can be classified as powerful breakthrough ideas. That's 30 a day.
Brilliant ideas, improved problem-solving skills, and enhanced innovative capabilities are what's in store for participants. Whether it's a keynote, a seminar, or a full workshop, Drew's intent is to teach others how to harness this powerful tool he calls strategic ideation.
Learn how to hear the ideas you're already getting, and you can solve any problem. Any problem. Like the problem the mayor had. Remember when I told you how the mayor, he wanted to build this ball field on City Island? Well, I'd like to say he had no problems with that project, but boy, this guy had nothing but problems trying to build a ball field on that kind of soil. I mean, he had so many problems, the press began to call it the mayor's folly. One day in a press conference, a reporter asked the mayor, said, "Mr. Mayor, do you think you're really going to ever finish this field?" Whoa. The mayor looked at, not right at the reporter, but he looked right at the TV cameras and he said, "I promise you, the people of Harrisburg, I will not only finish this field, but I will open the season by throwing the first pitch on April 5th at 2 p.m. And with that, he turned and he abruptly left the room. A man, it'd be nice to say he had no more problems, but he did. None of which was so horrific as the problem he faced on the morning of April 5th, opening day. Now, the field was finished for the most part. I mean, the bleachers were in, the scoreboard was up. There was turf on the field, but you couldn't see the turf. You see, it had rained for 3 weeks straight prior to April 5th. One of the things they had not yet finished was that special drainage system underneath the turf. Ladies and gentlemen, there were 4 inches of water over that entire field. It looked like a lake surrounded by bleachers. I got there about mid-morning, and I found the mayor surrounded by a frantic work crew. I mean, they were all trying to talk at once, trying to explain to the mayor how they worked all night trying to get rid of this water. They said, Mayor, we've tried everything. We've tried digging trenches. That didn't work. We got giant pumps. It didn't work. We even took long boards, made makeshift squeegees. We tried to squeegee the water off of there. Mayor, we have tried every option. The mayor looked at each and every one of those boys and he said, boys, we have not tried everything. And he turned, he walked away from that noisy work crew and he went over to some trees near the outfield where he just stood there all alone, you know, staring up into space. After about 10 minutes, he reached back, he grabbed his two-way radio and made a call. It was a frantic call. I mean, his arms are waving, he's pacing back and forth, he's yelling commands, and then he ends the call and goes back into that blank stare. Now, after a while, I started to feel sorry for him, so I went over to where he was standing and I said, Mayor, it's okay. Nobody could have predicted 21 days of rain. Let's just hold the opening game next week. He looked me square in the eye and he said, Miller, we have not tried everything. I said, what? He said, well, we haven't tried a fan. I said, a fan? He said, a fan, blow all this water off here. I said, oh, Mayor, you're going to need the world's biggest fan. You want to blow all this water. About that time, I heard the world's biggest fan. Up the river, over the trees, came an Army Reserve helicopter. One of them big Hueys came in over the center of the field, lowered itself down to about 3 feet above the pitcher's mound, and just laid there, hovering in midair. Whopping blades pushed that water out in every direction. And by 1:45, not only was the water gone, the turf was actually dry. Sports fans arriving for the game didn't know the field was flooded. They thought the helicopter was part of an opening ceremony. 2 minutes to 2. That chopper lifted straight up, bank to the right, and he flew back down that river. The mayor walked over to a cardboard box full of brand new baseballs. He reached in, he grabbed one. He squeezed it in his hands, and as he strutted past me, smug grin on his face, he leaned over and he said, see there, Miller, you ain't the only one that can get ideas. And then he headed straight out to the pitcher's mound, where he fulfilled his promise. The mayor had a problem, and he solved that problem with an idea. And his openness to additional ideas helped transform that deserted island into what is today a highly successful 62-acre theme park, enriching the quality of life for hundreds of thousands of people.
For more information, please contact the person who provided you with this tape.